go. Taste It Tuesday. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen. You're gonna love this recipe. I'm going to put my apron on. I already washed my hands with hot soapy water. I got my Christmas apron. You're like, what? Christmas? It's almost June, but you know what? It's all about celebrating, and I love Christmas. And at Christmas we give, and today I'm giving you something that I enjoy doing, which is cooking. So I hope you enjoy making this. Let me just tell you what's on the plans for today. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. It's Kebba's Sexy Chocolate No-Bake Cookies with little extra love, okay? So I know you've all had chocolate no-bake cookies, and I have a good friend, my friend Nancy, who was also one of my students back in the days, okay? And she always reminds me of one of the recipes she got when she was in middle school, which was chocolate no-bake cookies. So we've all had them, we've all made them, but I'm gonna kick it up a notch because I love inventing recipes. So this is mine. I've looked over the internet, didn't see it. So, but you know, we all add a little bit here, a little bit there to make what works for us, okay? So there's a little bit of healthiness in this, but it's not low cal, okay? So I am going to start off. I've got butter in here. It's the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of butter. Now I know you could substitute butter for applesauce. You might try that, but I think I would do half applesauce, like 2 tablespoons and 2 tablespoons. Get that butter in there, okay? Get the fat in there, okay? And then you're gonna combine sugar, okay? And you can look on the internet too to see how to convert using a little bit of stevia, and they do have brown sugar stevia. This is not low cal, it's 1.5 cups of sugar. But if you can convert it and put maybe a 1/4 cup of stevia, just to save on the calories, I would do that, okay? So I'm gonna add the sugar, and I'm gonna turn this up a little bit higher. So there's 1 cup, and there's a 1/2 cup, and then I've got right here, there's my little sign, in this kitchen we dance. But you're using Hershey cocoa, okay? And it's a lot less calories to use the cocoa. You don't want to just eat this like you would a chocolate chip because there's no sugar in it, and that's why you're adding the sugar. So it's kind of the same as adding chocolate chips. They're loaded with sugar. And this is only 10 calories for a tablespoon, okay? So it calls for 1/4 cup, so I'm gonna add all that in there, okay? And then it calls for milk. So I don't use whole milk because I'm lactose intolerant, so I use, this is cashew milk, that's what I had on hand, but sometimes I'll use coconut and almond milk, or you can mix it up, or you can use oat milk, which is really good for you too, okay? So I'm gonna stir this all together. So the recipe says combine the butter, sugar, milk, and cocoa together in a medium saucepan over medium heat, and just whisk or use a wooden spoon, okay? So I'm just gonna do this. You don't want it to burn, okay? So get all this yumminess together. Now the difference in this recipe, you all have had chocolate no-bake cookies, right? Okay, it has oatmeal in it, that's traditional. Now, how many of you have had haystack cookies? I just woke up in the middle of the night not too long ago and I thought, I love haystack cookies. That's with the chow mein noodles. Now let me just show you the container chow mein noodles. So these right here, Asian food section, you get those. And you usually mix it with melted chocolate, a little bit of peanut butter and peanuts. You can get the recipe on the internet. But I love those, and I love chocolate no-bake cookies. And I thought, let's put those two together and see how it works. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit higher, okay? And you want it to boil, so allow it to simmer for about a minute, whisking, and then you're going to remove from the heat, and then you're going to stir in peanut butter, vanilla extract. So, and you know what, the vanilla can actually go in right now, so that doesn't matter. And I just use pure vanilla that I get on my trips in Mexico, so I'm going to just add that right now, okay? Now the other difference that I did is I'm going to add a little bit of chia seeds, and also I'm going to add some sunflower, no, not pumpkin seeds. If you have sunflower seeds, add those, but I do it without the salt. They're loaded with antioxidants. They're great superfoods, so they help prevent cancer and heart disease. So add those. They're low in, they're good fats for you, and they add great fiber. Okay, so I'm going to cook this a little bit longer. Oatmeal is one of the best grains to have. It's has good good fiber. It has probably the highest fiber. Okay, and it has the good fats. So use that, and it's good protein also. Okay, so you're adding a lot of protein too. If you don't like peanut butter, so I'm going to just keep stirring this up. If you don't like peanut butter, then you are going to add almond butter or cashew butter. Okay, and now I'm going to just let this simmer just for a little bit, stirring it a little bit because you don't want it to burn. And I'm going to put it at medium temperature. Okay, just get all that mixed in. And then to this, you're going to take it off, and then you're going to add in the peanut butter. I already did the vanilla, and then you're going to stir in the oats and the chow mein noodles, pumpkin seeds and chia, and that's all you do. Okay. And then I already have my pan all ready to go, cookie sheet all lined right over here. And then another thing that's a little different, we're gonna drizzle it. So I'm putting it in the microwave right now, or my husband's gonna do that for about 30 seconds. And then we're gonna just stir it and then drizzle that on top of these cookies when they're all together, okay? So I'm gonna give it just a little bit more time. And then I'm gonna add to it the peanut butter. So it calls for, let's see, and you can use creamy peanut butter, 2/3 of a cup. So I've got 1/3 and 1/3, those 2/3, okay. Get all this off, and I'm just gonna pull it away from the heat a little bit because I don't want that to burn. I want to make sure I get all this in, okay? So I'm going to add the peanut butter, and it's going to mix better when I dump the oatmeal in. So I'm going to do that right now. Turn the heat down. 2 cups of oatmeal. Now I may, if it's too, this is the thing with this recipe, if it's too watery, you add a little bit more, okay? So I may end up adding a little bit more. This recipe, my original recipe, called for 2.5 cups, probably a little bit longer. 2.5 to 3 cups. So this is maybe a little bit watered down, but I still have chow mein noodles. So instead of 3 cups of oatmeal, and if you don't like chow mein noodles, and if you don't have it at home, add 3 cups of oatmeal. So I'm gonna add a little bit. So I'm going to dump this and see how that goes, because I'm also adding a little bit of pumpkin seed, okay? Here's my pumpkin seed right now, and my chia seed. I'm just going to dump that in. And I'm going to suggest, so I'm going to stir it a little bit longer, and it's a little bit on the watery side, so I'm going to add a little bit more oatmeal. So I think that oatmeal it's a little heavier than your chow mein noodles. So let's do about 2 more tablespoons and see where we go with this. And in the original recipe, you'll see the adaptations to it, okay? Let me just stir that. Spoon. Okay, this is starting to look good. I'm going to actually add about another, so probably the recipe, I would say do 2.5 cups of oatmeal and a cup of chow mein noodles, okay? See, isn't this the great thing about cooking? You just dump it in, okay? And what I am adding, the chow mein, I wanted it to be crunchy tasting, okay? You want to soak it all in. Now, if you want sunflower seeds, add that. If you want to add some peanuts to this, that would be yummy, okay? So I'm going to take this off the heat, and that's basically it. This looks like the right consistency now. I may add a little bit more chow mein noodles. So I think on the recipe, I would do definitely 2.5 to 2 3/4 of oatmeal, and then a cup of chow mein noodles. So we're gonna go with a little bit more crunchiness. And then you'll see in the final picture of one that's already made, ready for us to eat. Yeah, this looks about right. So if you made this before, this is how it should look. It shouldn't be dripping, okay? It should look like brownie batter, okay? Okay. Now I'm gonna get this pan, and you can just get a cookie sheet and just line it with parchment paper. And then I'll just get a tablespoon. Let me just, right here. Got it ready. Now, you just drop it by a tablespoon, just like so, and you know what?
Wax paper.
Wax paper, parchment paper. This is parchment paper, okay? Okay. And then you're gonna take another spoon, or you might even just use, I'm gonna use a fork, because I want it to be a drizzly effect. So I've got my butterscotch chips all melted down. You can even use peanut butter chips, but I just thought the butterscotch with the chocolate. Now, if you want it a little bit thinner, you can just add a little oil to it, but we'll see how this turns out, okay? I'm just gonna just drizzle a little bit of this. It might be a little bit thick, but you know, it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need a whole lot, just a little taste of that, okay? I'm just gonna do a couple right now. Kind of like you're frosting it almost. Just drizzle all around the top, just enough. Okay. And this is it, guys. That didn't take too long, did it? And they're gonna be yummy. Now put these in the refrigerator, and I'm actually gonna freeze them. And I'll let you know how, or you can text me and see how it tastes. And I'm gonna be doing this for another, probably a couple weeks until I get done with school, because when school's out, I am having fun. So hopefully this quarantine stuff will be over, and I'm gonna be headed places and having a good time. So I'll resume cooking at some time. Let's say I'm making something fun, or if you suggest that I make something, I would love to do that. So I love reading your comments, and catch me also on Work It Wednesday. You know, have one or two of these, and then you work out, okay? That's what it's all about. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to have fun and to enjoy what I love. And so we're gonna end it right now, okay? And have fun, guys. Here we go. Oh yeah! Have a great week, guys. Remember, it's not a gift until you share it. So thank you for letting me into your house. Again,